The Dolomites don't do small talk. They argue with the sky, laugh at time, and still let us wander through. 6 conversations. 1 mountain range. Let's begin.
Hey, it's Miko. Tiny thoughts, giant views. Today we're hitting into the hilarious, dramatic, slightly over the top Dolomites. Let's wander!
Cadini di Misurina isn't just a view, it's a gentle reminder that beauty isn't just what you see, it's how small it makes you feel.
Welcome to fantastic Cadini di Misurina. It's a reminder that beauty often shares a border with risk. The view doesn't belong to hiker, the hiker belongs to the view. Maybe that's how life works. We're not really choosing destinations, just collecting perspectives.
1 foot in front of the other becomes a conversation with the ground. A breeze becomes proof that you are alive.
The trail feels endless, but so do the reward.
People say we don't travel to escape life, but for life not to escape us. Up here life feels potent, distilled to its essence.
Some choices look scarier up close, but you only see the view if you keep going.
A wise man said, the greatest reward of travel is to see everyday things, as if for the first time. And here, nothing is familiar, not the air, not the light, not the silence of these stone giants.
This isn't a place you rush through.
There's a strange philosophy that settles into your bones up here. We build our lives on the illusion of permanence. Careers, houses, plans, all of it feels so solid. Then you stand before something that prepares your entire species and realize you're about as permanent as a footprint in the snow. But the mountain catch up. They don't judge, they just are. And in their silence, they invite you to do the same. To just be, not to prove, not to perform, just be.
I thought I came here to see the view. Maybe the view came to see if I was paying attention.
Cadini di Misurina, not just a landscape, they're a cast of characters in a drama that's been unfolding for millennia. And we are just the latest audience passing through. We humans do this weird thing. We walk into the forest looking for the something we can't quite name. But mostly we're hoping the trees will tell us something we forgot. They never do, but they do listen, which is rare these days. There's something primitive about waterfalls. They don't ask to be looked at, they just fall, endlessly, effortlessly, like time or your motivation on Monday. People say they want to chase waterfalls, but standing here, you realize that's kind of insane. You don't chase waterfalls, you let them happen to you. Because what is a waterfall if not the universe saying, sometimes the only way forward is down? Maybe that's not failure, maybe that's just gravity with good storytelling.
Cascate di Fanes! Cascate di Fanes is a natural TED Talk on letting go. Every drop says you can't hold on forever. And look how beautiful it is when you don't. Waterfall, don't worry about where they land. Maybe we shouldn't either. The waterfall never keeps a single drop, yet it never runs out. It refills itself from different sources. The river doesn't care how many times it's crossed, it just keeps moving. Even the small things are busy making this place beautiful.
This place in the Dolomites, where the earth opens up and has a small existential crisis loudly.
Maybe letting go isn't losing. Maybe it's making room for the next chapter.
So, that's Cascate di Fanes, not the biggest, not the most famous, but maybe the most honest. It doesn't try to impress you, it just shows up, falls apart, and keeps flowing. Sometimes falling is the most natural thing we can do.
Welcome to the Sassolungo! Sassolungo is like a party guest who starts talking about the railroad history. Unexpected but fascinating.
Here, the air is never still. It reminds you that nothing in the life is meant to stay fixed. You can plan your route, but you can't plan the sky. People say mountains aren't stadiums for ambition, they're cathedrals for the soul, and standing here you get it. Life's best moments come when you stop insisting on your plan. The mountain edit me, strips away the noise, the chatter, until only what's true is the left breathing. Even the smallest breeze feels unsigned here, as it borrowed from the stone itself.
These tiny roads probably seen more hikers than I've ever seen in my life. And probably listen to their complaints too.
And I'm one of them who remain my footprint on that tiny roads. Some things survive by holding steady, others survive by letting go. It's a religion of rock and silence, a temple where belief isn't required, just presence. Maybe we should treat the mountain like conversations. The less we control them, the better story we get.
Plans dissolve quickly here, which is its own kind of freedom.
The mountain edits my sentences, cuts out the excess, leaves only what matters. The view is never promised, only offered, and only to those who wait. Sassolungo didn't give me the view I came for, it gave me the one I needed. When the path disappears, the mountains ask you to trust what you cannot see.
Sometimes you don't need the whole conversation, just enough one to come back.
We are not conquering, we're just visiting, adding our tiny stories to the giant's epic tale, one breathless gasp at all time.
Sassolungo, it's like a big mystery, but not every mystery wants to be solved. Welcome to Lago di Braies. They call this the most beautiful lake in the Dolomites. I call this the most judgmental mirror which I ever met.
Every drop of water has a memory. This one remembers being ice. You can feel it, a cold that tells you stories about the top of the mountain.
Life like this, the more you trash, less you see yourself clearly.
It stares back without flinching, reminding you exactly how unsteady your edges are. Some places humble you, some places quiet you, and some places they remind you that beauty is still out there, waiting to be more than just a background for your phone.
This place holds the sky, like a photograph it refuses to give back.
You think you walk beside water, but you're really walking on your own reflection.
Sometimes the clearest reflection you find is when you stop moving.
And sometimes the distortion tells you more than the mirror ever could. Eventually, the water settles, not because the world got quieter, but because I did. The lake teaches patience. It doesn't rush to reflect your back, it waits until you're ready to be seen. Maybe that's why we travel, not to find new landscapes, but to notice the tremors we carry inside. Ask yourself, what part of you is waiting quietly behind the mountain, ready for a comeback?
Maybe clarity isn't about seeing more, but about needing less.
The lake forgets your ripples quickly, but you remember. But maybe the goal isn't to prove we were here. Maybe it's to stand quietly and listen. There's the silence you expect here, the kind where you imagine hearing the mountain think. So yeah, come to Lago di Braies. It's absolutely, undeniably worth the hype. It will break your brain with its beauty.
Tre Cime! People are like mountains. Every perspective reveals something unexpected. Some look small until you get close. Others are giant even from far away.
Mountains keep repeating the same play, light, shadow and silence, and somehow it never gets old.
Even the grandest scenes rest in tiny details. Some places don't want to be conquered, just met.
We are all just trying to find our way on a very big rock.
You can't rush a peak into revealing itself. Every step here is a reminder of scale, yours and the mountains.
Tre Cime don't roar. They don't enter like heroes, they just are. We spend our lives building little boxes, then spend a fortune and precious oxygen to come somewhere that remind us just how small those boxes are.
Every face of the Tre Cime is looking at something different. Maybe I'm just one of them.
They are not too impressed, not arrogant, just still, like they're offering scale, not just in meters, but in meaning. We come here searching for answers, but these mountains don't give answers, they just ask better questions. Touching the rock feels like touching time itself, solid, unsigned, indifferent. Not fear of falling, but the dizzying awareness of how far we can come and how little really has changed. The best view here isn't the one you post, it's the one you can't quite explain when you get home. Come to see Tre Cime, but don't just capture it, let it rearrange your idea of what matters.
Seceda looks like a cathedral, the earth built for itself without asking the planning permission. Standing here, you realize humans build cities for comforts. Nature builds reminders of impermanence.
We climb to feel tall, but the higher we go, the smaller we seem. Each ridge behind another is like memory layered on memory, reminding us that story isn't gone, only quieter. These peaks are not obstacles, they are time made visible, standing in patient defiance of hurry. Here, light behaves like a painter with no patience, layering, erasing, beginning again. To measure yourself against this edge is to admit how small you've always been. Up close, the mountain isn't grand. its tiny pieces quietly doing their work. Even here, life grows in the cracks, proof that persistence doesn't need permission. The clouds don't wait for anyone here. Maybe we shouldn't either.
From here, the world feels both endless and very small. Especially when you realize you still have to hike down.
Up here, clouds keep editing the mountain's mood. Lights rewrite the story every few minutes. Nothing stays the same, except my stubborn attempt to capture it all.
Maybe the mountain doesn't need me to tell its story. Maybe it's telling mine all along. A story that doesn't end here, but waits at the next horizon. The Dolomites never really tell you that your trip is over. They just keep being here, like an old friend who doesn't close the door when you leave. Every path we walk was older than any story we could tell about it, and will outlive our little footprints. Maybe the reason we travel is not to escape life, but to see it from height, where our worries seem negotiable. Here, even silence has texture, and it speaks more clearly than most of our conversations. We think we're chasing destinations, but really we're just collecting versions of ourselves that only appears in certain places. Sometimes the smallest things, a flower, a moment, a breath, are the only things that survive in memory after the big landscape fade. The Dolomites have a way of hiding their lessons in the corners, the places where most tourists don't point their cameras. And if you're patient enough, the mountain starts telling you story, not in words, but in the ways they hold still while everything else changes. And so the mountains stay, and we keep walking, a little slower, a little lighter, and maybe a little more awake.